The second season of Sherlock and Daughter, which is in competition this week at the Monte Carlo Television Festival and is on the CW and Max in the US, still awaits greenlight, but not for the lack of ideas. They would just come popping out, and there were far too many, for just 8 episodes. If the fates are good to us, there are so many wonderful stories to be told with these characters, says writer Shelley Goldstein at the festival. Brendan Foley, writer and creator of the show, adds, "I think we'd like to take it international." At the end of the 19th century, society is moving from criminals robbing banks to criminals owning banks. Crime is blissfully international. I'd like to see what's happening in the US, Europe, Australia at the same time. This great, glorious British Empire was still in its heyday, but it's a big world out there. In the series, Sherlock Holmes, played by David Thewlis, becomes embroiled in a conspiracy involving the Red Thread criminal syndicate. To his own surprise, he joins forces with Amelia Rojas, played by Blue Hunt, a young Native American woman whose mother was recently murdered, and who claims Holmes as her father. Taking on Arthur Conan Doyle's character, one that just refuses to go away, was a double-edged sword for Foley. I don't think anyone should do it lightly, because you have 20,000 different versions of Sherlock. There's always a percentage of the audience who'd be absolute purists, and a percentage who haven't read a word of Conan Doyle and knows Holmes from his 101 iterations. We're appealing to quite a large audience, including a very mainstream US audience who enjoys wrestling, he jokes. A few people will always say, "Oh, you've ruined it." It's always a good piece of advice not to read the comments, but we went from people saying, "I'm sure this will be terrible," to, "Well, it wasn't too bad." That was a lovely thing, to see that evolution, but you can't be all things to all people. Thewlis' Sherlock is a classic Sherlock, but with a twist. He's a lion in winter. He's older, grumpier, and then we're able to play with the other side. Amelia lands in like a spunky meteorite, right into poor old Holmes' tidy little world. She also forces him to experience something he hates the most, emotions. He's a big experimenter, so is it possible that just once in his life he might have thought, "What's all this human emotion stuff about? I'd better try it." And what if that went as badly as possible on that one occasion? Everyone has emotions. It may be hidden, but it's there. We dig it out. Goldstein adds, "When you think of recent Sherlocks, they're all kind of wonderful. Young on the go, learning the ropes and breaking the rules. That's not our Sherlock. He's done it all. He's done every case. He's always 12 steps ahead of everybody else, but things are changing. Technology is changing crime class. It's fun watching these little worlds collide while they're trying to solve very, very intense crimes." The team decided that having a daughter, not a son, would be harder for Sherlock. It's a big challenge. Amelia is very much her own woman. She's got that American sensibility and comes from an extraordinarily different culture. She's absolutely the last thing he would be prepared to deal with, she notes. But with many other news shows turning to Conan Doyle, including Monte Carlo opener, Watson, Sherlock fatigue is real. "I was concerned," admits Corinne Martin, CEO at Starlings Entertainment, which produced the show with Albion Television, with Story First as a co-producer. "There's been so many great Sherlocks. But once the script started coming in, and once we saw our characters, we firmly felt this would really fill a space that hadn't been taken yet. The idea of the father-daughter was something unusual to explore, and then there's the fact she's Native American. We wanted to draw into that culture,